Thank you, Chairman, and
Welcome.
good committee. My name is Jeff Cornelis, District 12 in Nampa. Thank you for having me and this bill here today. This bill is really pretty simple. It takes the 55 city libraries, city-owned libraries, and it puts the library director not only under the purview of the library board, but also of city council. So currently, the director is appointed or hired by the city, and the mayor, and the board is directed or appointed by the mayor. So if we wanted to, if there needed to be a search, I look at this like a city looking for a new fire chief or a new police chief. There would be a search committee, which is basically what the library board has always been. That will remain the same. But like hiring another official in the city, city council would be involved if you're hiring a new police chief or a new fire chief. This just puts the same parameters on a library board director.
All right. Are there any questions? Senator Taylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, Representative. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Good. Thank you. What's the impetus behind this bill?
Chairman.
Senator Cornelis?
Good, Senator. It just became apparent a few years ago that there was an issue when some of these cities started looking at their own boards and the director and their capacity and how they were hired and fired. And it became apparent that it was probably going to be an issue for cities because in most cases, these are a paid position that council couldn't let go of if they wanted to, as an example. That isn't the case. I mean, that wasn't an issue with one of the cities, but it became apparent that there was a flaw in the system. So for them to be able to be involved with the hiring and the firing of a director is a big deal, if it's a city employee especially.
Representative Cornelis, is there any concern with the proposed changes that a library director would feel like, do I have two different groups here trying to control me, or is there any concern about that? I did show you a letter that was brought up. Is there any concerns in that you can see?
Chair, no, not that I have heard. I've spoken with several cities. They like this accountability because it'll still go to the board, which it always has, but with the oversight of city council. So it just adds that one other layer, and I really think it'll be nothing more than a search committee like it always has been.
All right, thank you. Senator Robbie?
Mr. Chair, Representative.
Yes.
So my mom was a high school librarian, so I know, being a librarian, shouldn't be, in my view, a very controversial role. I guess I'm still just struggling why we need to get city council members involved. My worry is, I guess, this will just somehow politicize our libraries, where I think they need to be able to just do their jobs and be a, free and fair, open place for the public to get books. So, I guess if you can address that concern, that'd be helpful.
Representative Cornelis?
Chairman Riggs and Senator, it was just brought to the attention of a few cities that they actually have an employee they couldn't hire or fire, or they couldn't fire, and they're not involved in the hiring. The board actually does the hiring. So this really, in us working on this over the summer, it really doesn't change that, because it'll still be spearheaded by the board, whether it's a hire or a fire, and just with the approval of city council. Yeah.
Senator Taylor.
Thank you. Just to follow up, If all of the responsibility now lies on the city council and the mayor, what is going to happen to the library board? What would be their purpose going forward?
Representative Cornelis?
Chairman and Senator Taylor. Again, the library board is still going to be involved in the day-to-day operations, including a search for a new director or talking about maybe getting rid of a director, as an example. That's not going to change. So the board of directors is still going to be doing everything that they've always done, including the hiring, firing, being involved in that, and then bringing that entity to city council. It just adds that last layer on it. So really nothing changes other than now city council can overlook the same and confirm or not what they want to do.
Kind of sounds similar to the process we do in the Senate with confirmations of different appointees.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? I see none, so thank you very much. We do have a few folks that are signed up to testify. First, we're going to hear from Heather Stout, virtually. Ms. Stout?
There we go. I'm unmuted.
All
Here
right,
we go. Thank you.
We can hear you
Thank
now.
you so much.
Welcome to our committee. If you'll introduce yourself and who you represent for the record, we'll give you 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Heather Stout, and I live in Latah County. I am a retired professional librarian, and my last position was Assistant Library Director for a city public library here in Idaho. Currently, Public Library Board of Trustees are appointed by the mayor of the city with the consent of the city council. Library board trustees are responsible for setting policy. Trustees also hire, and if warranted, fire library directors. If I had aspired to be the director, I would have been interviewed extensively by the library board, and it would have been their decision to hire me or not. If hired, then it would be my responsibility for carrying out library policy. HB 715 proposes changing the way in which library directors are hired and fired. If passed, it would require approval of a majority of the members of the city council along with the library trustees to hire or terminate the library director. This will affect 55 libraries in Idaho. This legislation completely changes the role of the library director. Instead of following the library policy put forth by the Library Board of Trustees, the director would also have to answer to the City Council. This causes the director to have two sets of bosses. The mayor, with the consent of the City Council, has already appointed the library trustees. Why is there a need for additional oversight? This is government overreach and yet another attempt to bypass local control. Public libraries are unique in that they ensure our constitutional protected access to information. Library board trustees are a cross-section of our local community. They go through specialized training for their positions, ensuring that they have greater understanding of how libraries work and operate. City councilors do not go through that training. The current model of governance in city public libraries has functioned quite well for over 100 years. There's no reason to change that formula now. So please, I urge you to vote no on HB 715. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Stout. Are there any questions? I see none. Thank you for testifying.
Thank you.
Next, we have Brian Allman. Welcome, Brian. If you'll introduce yourself for the record and who you represent.
Chairman Ricks, members of the committee, my name's Brian Allman. I am the president of the Eagle Public Library Board of Trustees. I'm here speaking for myself. I'm not speaking on behalf of the board, but I'm speaking from that perspective. I'm not necessarily for or against the bill. I signed up neutrally. I just want to share what Eagle is like, because I've heard and seen press reports that our situation was part of the impetus for this bill. We currently have a great relationship with our library director as well as our city council, which just saw turnover. It's a 4-member council. 2 new people just came on board a few weeks ago. But The in the past, there was some tension, I believe. There were 2 trustees who were removed from the board by the council, and they had some concerns about the library director. And I don't know what went on behind the scenes, but that is what was publicly reported. In that case, I believe the council was ensuring that the board did not act unilaterally in attempting to remove or otherwise discipline the library director. So I've seen some of the debate against this is that the current situation protects library directors from councils. It might be the other way around, depending on the situation. That said, however, as a trustee, my responsibility is to set policy with the rest of the board. Our library director in Eagle has been there for more than 20 years, so he actually predates everyone on the board, and I believe everyone on our city council as well. So none of us have had the experience of having to hire a director or fire one. The way it's been working thus far in Eagle is that the director is a city employee. I double-checked on Transparent Idaho just now, and he is a city employee of the city of Eagle. The library staff that he hires and fires are city employees as well. So I think this is a tension in the law right now. Both the current law and the Eagle City Code say that the director works at the pleasure of the board. However, being a city employee paid out of city taxes, subject to city policies as well as library policies, I can see how this could use some additional clarification. I see my time's expired, so I will stand for questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Allman. Senator Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Allman, when you were looking at the Sunshine Report, did you, and you found out that the library director is a city employee, did you happen to see what his salary was?
Mr. Allman?
Chairman Ricks, Senator Adams, I still have it open on the computer. I believe it was $57 an hour, and doing the math, it came to about $106,000 a year.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? I do have one, and so you did sign up as neutral here. Do you feel that this proposed legislation would improve the process?
Mr. Chairman, looking ahead to the, I don't know if the board will be in the position of hiring a director while I am there. I'm in the 4th year of a 5-year term. But looking ahead to that situation, I could see how this legislation would provide clarity to it. Right now, again, being that the director is a city employee, but the board has statutory authority to hire and fire him. If there's a conflict between the library board and the city council, I could see that causing problems.
So in that case, if that was a situation, this proposed legislation would make it more clear and provide an option for the city council to fire or the mayor at that point.
I believe so. The way I read it, it's
okay. All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Next, we have Isabella Burgess. Welcome.
Thank you.
You'll introduce yourself for the committee and who you represent. We'll give you 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Izzy Burgess. Good afternoon, committee, and I am here on behalf of the Idaho Library Association for our membership and our board in firm opposition of House Bill 715. I want to discuss 2 of our chief concerns, which are ethical implications and political influence over libraries and library leadership. The most well-functioning libraries do not represent any singular viewpoint or certain political agendas. Our best library leaders uphold the constitutional principles upon which libraries are founded. They seek to maintain patron privacy, equitable access to information, and viewpoint neutrality for everyone. Library directors and board members are uniquely fit to face these large ethical burdens based on expertise and industry knowledge. As purveyors of democratic principles, it is absolutely essential that we can protect the neutral spaces of libraries and our citizens' free access to information and ideas. We fear this bill may result in an intervention of these democratic principles. Maintaining authority for board members over library leadership keeps our libraries running smoothly and facilitates efficient and equitable service. It keeps directors committed to our continued democratization of knowledge and to serving people rather than partisanship. We are concerned by the potential chilling effect of this bill based on political biases of elected officials. The impact of this goes much further than hiring and firing and could affect every level of service and greatly diminish staff morale. Current standards encourage cohesion, longevity, and transparency for libraries, regardless of current political trends. The current system is to the benefit of the people that we serve. Board members and library directors provide levels of knowledge that city councils simply do not have. Preserving the integrity, free, and fair access to information for all Idahoans is good for all of us. And I stand open to questions if you have any.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? I see none at this time, so thank you very much. And last on the list is Lynn Druin. I'm sure I probably mispronounced that, but Lynn is online. We'll try to tie them in. All right, Lynn, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes. If you'll go ahead and introduce
Yes.
yourself and who you represent, well, the time is yours for 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman Ricks, members of the committee. My name is Lynn Druin. I'm a resident of District 26 and the director currently of the Haley Public Library in Haley. I'm here to respectfully ask you to oppose House Bill 715. Independent library boards exist so that libraries can operate with stability, professional oversight, and a measure of insulation from short-term political pressures and disruption. Library boards set policy, oversee budgets, and hire and evaluate directors while remaining accountable through open meetings and appointments confirmed by city councils. HB 715 would significantly change this model by requiring city council approval to hire or terminate a library director. While that may sound like a small procedural step, it creates a fundamental governance problem. Under the current law, one governing body hires and evaluates and holds the director accountable. That is the library board. HB 715 would divide that authority between two governing bodies. In practice, that means a director would be responsible to both the library board and a city council. As the old principle says, no one can serve two masters. When expectations come from two different directions, often with competing interests, accountability becomes unclear, creating an unstable environment not only for the director, but also for library staff and the library users. And it undermines the role of the very boards that the legislature created to provide a specialized library oversight. Library boards are already accountable. Clarity already exists and multiple checks are in place. Trustees are appointed by elected officials for 5-year terms. Meetings are open to the public and library budgets are approved by local governments in public hearings. For over 60 years, Idaho's library governance model has provided clear lines of authority and stable leadership. HB 715 is government overreach, adds redundancy, and would blur those lines of accountability. For these reasons, I respectfully ask the committee to vote no on House Bill 715. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Druin. Are there any questions? I see none. Thank you very much. All right, is there anybody else that we missed like to testify? If not, Representative Cornelis, if you'd like to come back and close for us.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. I'd like to answer one of the testifiers' questions that these are elected officials, and we want this under the purview of elected officials. City council is not partisan. It's bipartisan. She said it's political. It's not. If you put city council in there to vote as well, and I still, from all the talks I've had, everybody looks at this as just another mechanism that could be used and that will follow the guidelines of the board of directors. They're not, city councils that I've talked to are not in the job of creating more work for themselves. They're not going to go out and make sure that every fire chief potential has all all the skills they want them to have. They're going to rely on the people who are bringing them to them to let them know they have all the skills they need to have. This will be the same way. The library board has that autonomy to bring in 1 or 2 or 3 different people to interview and tell city council who they want. And city council is going to ask a few questions, potentially, and then probably okay that. I think that's the way this is intended to happen, and it's not government overreach, and these are elected officials, but it's nonpartisan, so it's not a political issue.
All right, thank you. Any last questions? I see none, so thank you very much.
Thank you, committee.
Committee, we have House Bill 715 before us. Senator Adams.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we send House Bill 715 to the floor with a do pass recommendation.
All right, a motion has been made by Senator Adams to send House Bill 715 to the floor with a do pass recommendation, a second by Senator Taves. Any further discussion? Would you like to speak to your motion? Go ahead, Senator Adams.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman. When I look at this, I see a taxpayer-funded position for a taxpayer-funded facility and institution being the library, and their elected officials, as it is right now, as the representative pointed out, have no ability to really oversee that person. With a salary of 6 figures of taxpayer money. I think this is a prudent step, and I applaud the representative for bringing it. I look forward to supporting it.
Senator Robbie.
Mr. Chair, I'll be voting against the motion. I just, we've had a lot of, tension with our libraries in recent years, and I think this is one more thing that makes their jobs more politically complex to navigate. And I do think that the current system in place is sufficient. I don't like the idea of getting city council members involved in managing these directors, so that'll be voting no.
Senator Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In all due respect to the sponsor, and echoing the good senator to my left's here comments, in our political climate these days and the way libraries have been treated and addressed recently, I do think that this is a pretty serious breach of government overreach. There's a board of directors for a reason, and if this goes forward, I anticipate seeing the board of directors being axed next, and it will just continue to where our libraries are then run in a manner that isn't designed for them to be running in the first place. So I'll be a no.
All right, I see no other comments. So the motion before us is to send Senate House Bill 715 to the floor with a do pass recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Okay. Senator Robbie and Senator Taylor, would you like to be recorded? Yes. Okay. That motion has carried. And Representative Cornelis, do we have a Senate sponsor on this? Senator Taves? Okay.